left, and you think, well, maybe they'll be a 20 times better side. Let's see how this one unfolds in the Ballarat Football Network League, and we are off and running straight away down to George. Through to midfield, goes inside 50 in the kick, looking for Grant Bell, trying to get away from Stevenson for the perfect start. Kick was smothered, still opportunity maybe for the Lions. Down there's McLean, keeps the ball in the field of play, scrubby kick inside 50, finds the captain in high, right foot stab across the face of goal. Scotland unable to mark, short with him, boundary line's Leonard's friend. Great start by the Lions, but unfortunately unable to hit the scoreboard, and we'll get a ball in deep inside 50.
Do you know why they got a chance today, Sam? They got half the players they didn't have last week.
100% Ian Smith. Back underway. We're inside 50. One down over top by Darley. Quick clearing kick there from Graham. That's the Nick variety. Spoiled from behind there was Evans. Opportunity here for Atchison. Left foot kick was smothered. Gets it back. Opportunity still for the Lions. Here's Hoy. Dribbling kick inside 50. Short. Coming through now is Matthews. His kick was smothered as well for the third or fourth time. A kick smothered by Darley. Desperate in the fence. Cullen locks things up, and some flying shots on goal. Barriag already coming up from the Lions, and some great defence by the Devils.
Been some brilliant defence, but very unusual to see the coach drop a mark.
Cleary wins this one down. Matthews reaching over the top, trying to find a man with the little clever tap. Ball spills free. Stevenson couldn't quite get boots the ball. Matthews drags him down the tackle on the bottom of the pack, as he has been all season, as Luther Baker, and he's locked up.
And should have had a free kick if the umpire was in the correct position, but then again...
Barriag with the perfect vantage point this afternoon. Inside 50 we are, about 30 from goal. One down there by Cleary. Opportunity for Darley coming through.
Umpire, what have you got to do?
And saying a ball up inside 50 for Graham coming through.
Can you see past the pole, Barry?
I can see past the pole,
yeah, good.
Off the noggin of Cleary, coming through was George, stolen there by Graham.
Of the Nick variety to Harley Inglis.
Couldn't take the mark at centre half back. Still opportunity for Darley to work it out there. Was just threatened. The kick goes forward. Spiteri, bottom of the pack. Can't quite pick the football up. Gets a free kick for in the back.
About time.
Free kick the way the Devils, centre of Darley Park. Spiteri off to Scotland from the middle of the ground. Looks to centre half for either at a kick. Mark's taken there by Smith. He looks towards the outside. Mark taken there by Lockie George. In the nice clean white boots on the half-back flank, he has the footy. Going to have to be at his very best this afternoon to drag his side across the line. Looking for Bell down the line. Threaten, got the spoil there. Handball by Atchison off to a teammate in Harvey. Flips it over top to Atchison. He goes over the top as well to a teammate. This is McLean from 50. Lockie McLean says, I've the ping at the goals and I'll miss everything. And
kicked it exactly where he was looking.
Was in two minds, and in the end, out in the full and free kick the way of Darley. Ian Smith.
Now the wind was there, boys. That would have dragged that straight through the middle goal there.
Opportunity here for Leonard from fullback. Goes down the line with a pulling kick. Bale gets back. Arms at the mark. Graham coming through. Scotland on the pack has Stevenson on his back. And the umpire says, give it to me. I'll throw things up. Half forward flank region. All the attacking the way of the Lions here in the early stages. 3.5 minutes gone, and we're underway once again. Stevenson decisively down. Coming through there was Hoy. Maybe caught one high. Umpire let it go. Nick Graham by hand. Just into space, hoping for the best. Thompson steps around a whoopie tackler. Pounds the ball inside 50. Cleary's got the sit at the back and takes the mark.
No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't. Yes, he has.
Yeah. Oh.
No, hit the ground.
Just some push and shove.
Oh, it's ball and push and shove.
No whistle, which was sort of surprising. Dean Chester right in the thick of things. Firing up. Cleary steps around the corner and kicks the first of the day. Lions on the board to kick things off here at Darley Park through Gus Cleary. Four minutes gone. Perfect start for the Redan Football Club, and that push and shove has finally stopped. But a lot happened there with Tommy Evans and Dean Chester. Just a lot of fire and vigour in the early stages of this one.
Might be an interesting video look at.
I'm sure we picked up on that from our good friends at Red Onion during the week. AFLGoldfields.tv. BFL game of the round, 979 FM, and we're back underway here. Stevenson got the little tap down. No one could really clear. Matthews' kick was smothered. Opportunity made for the Devils. Waterbury coming through. Got one high. Free kick will go the way of the Lions.
following on his good game last week.
Goes towards half forward. George and Scotland. Scotland hacks up the deck. Gets it a metre or so. Then off the ground further goes Shane Page towards centre wing. Good pick up by the Darley Devils. Inside towards Graham. He looks inside 50 with a wobbly kick. Out the back, they've got an opportunity here. Maybe for Carrick. Steps around. Right foot kick towards the top of the goal square. And the mark is taken.
Harley
Inglis takes the mark. About 25 metres out from goal, pretty much directly in front for the instant response.
Yeah, and it's a little bit easier than calling a Melton game because there's only two lots of brothers playing today.
Yes. The Inglis boys.
Inglis boys and the Graham brothers.
So here is Harley.
And mark this
Inglis.
one down.
Pretty much directly in front. The number 13 comes in, starts it right, and it stays there. Minor score. One behind, trails 1 goal straight, 6. Redan lead by 5 points here at Darley Park.
Although I was unfortunate enough to get home at the wrong time last night and turn the television on to see the last 5 seconds or so of the football match and saw Richardson.
Yeah, mate, Richardson's shot on goal. from pretty much the same distance, same spot. Barker.
At least Harley scored.
High towards the outside. Opportunity for Stevenson. Unable to take the mark. Baker. Left foot kick goes inside 50. Was in the direction of Ankrum. He was unable to get there. And the ball goes out of play. Ball in 6.5 minutes gone. Opening term. Redan lead by 5 points here on BFL Game of the Round. Second elimination final line from the Ballarat Football Number League on 979 FM. Back underway. Angwin's going to do the ruck duties here. Reaches over top nicely. Wins it down towards Baker. Wheels and deals. Tries to find a man. Could not do so. Picked up by Stevenson towards centre wing, but cut off there by Page. Read it best off the boot. He'll send his side into the attack again with a long thumping kick. George getting back, unable to take the mark for the line. Stolen by Pat Britt. He's clearing ball towards the other side. Opportunity here for O'Brien. High ball over the top. Finds a man in Hoy. Hoy drills the ball down the line. Look for Chester on the lead. He takes the mark in front of Evans. About 85 from goal. Beautiful user of the footy. Says, come at me. And why wouldn't you? Lace out. Bang! Inside 50. Hits Grant Bale on the chest.
Yep.
Have to kick right on 50.
Well within his comfort zone here.
Grant Bell lining up for the line second of the afternoon.
And, yeah, mark it down.
From 50, comes in, starts at left, wants to work it back, but can't quite do so. Minor score, 1-1-7 leads the one behind here.
I'm going very well at the moment, aren't I?
Yeah,
none out of 2.
0 from 2.
Yeah, so that's the finish of that.
Brian Graham goes short to Nick Graham in the right defensive back pocket, and he chips one over the top, doesn't hit Evans, creates a little opportunity maybe for the line. Stevenson trying to clear, Bond on hands and knees is jumped on by Page, and a turnover and a stoppage here on the half-forward line.
I think it was a bit unlucky. I think the kick was meant for young Steve-O, but he slipped and opened it up.
Half-forward region, Stevenson slapped, came back to him and pounded inside 50. Hoy protected the drop zone well, took the mark.
That doesn't happen very often.
Just used his body well, took the mark, and Liam Hoy will line up for goal.
In between light posts and bus pillars, I thought that was Pagey that he outmarked, which is why I thought it didn't happen very often.
Boys, I don't think Scotland's running too well. He seems to be limping on his right leg a bit. If you notice, he looks like a bit of a stretch hammy.
He comes in Hoy for the second goal today. Starts it right. Not going to make the distance from there.
Good grab.
And the mark taken there by Graham. He flips over the top to Angwin. He goes by hand to Collie. And from the other side, he goes down the line. But had nothing to really kick to. Redan well set up behind the ball here.
Hoping for the boundary line, but it's not going to eventuate.
Coon over top to Jenkins. He goes towards half forward. Scrubby kick still might work out. Inside 50 for McLean. He ran past it though. Evans at the back. Handball was partially smothered. Redan desperately keeping it inside 50. McLean. Great tackle applied by Callan. He ain't going anywhere. We'll get a ball up 35 from goal.
Good decision.
Umpire on the spot. 100% on the money there. Played 9.5 minutes in his opening term. Cleary wins this one down. Baker only as far as Hoy. Sidestep was superb. Lines it up at goals. And across the face, minor score. 1 goal, 2-8 leads the one behind here at Darley Park. Graham Looks towards the outside and goes short with the ball. Finds Stevenson. Mark taken by him. So Bryce Stevenson goes down the line by foot.
There's a free kick to Angwin.
Nothing, says the umpire. Baker by hand, trying to find a man running out of real estate, and we'll get a ball in between the Darley coach's box and centre wing on the broadcast side. The Devils trail by 7 points here at Darley Park. Redan doing all the attacking in the early stages of this one. Stevenson once again decisively down. Graham trying to find
There's a free kick.
Nick Graham.
Yeah.
Umpire pays the advantage to Baker. He goes down the line by foot and bounces.
Good attempt, but
Bounces off the chest of Carrick and goes out of play. We'll get a ball in on traditional centre wing.
I think a bit harsh, mate. Didn't bounce off his chest, but
we'll get a ball in centre wing on the broadcast side.
Going for a diving slips catch. I thought it was a very good attempt, actually, but
Back underway. Opportunity here for Bond. Couldn't quite get the ball to foot. Now Graham to Angwin. He goes inside 50 with a long booming left foot kick. Edwards got Britt right on his hammer. Brought the ball to the front of the pack, but it's all Redan. Hoy ducked the head, trying to find a man. And the Devils done well enough to apply some pressure.
In the back or not?
And he's going to say, I'm going to ball things up.
Easy option.
11 minutes gone. Opening term. Redan lead by 7 points. Stevenson wins it down decisively. Bond, the target man, couldn't quite find the footy. Maybe Waterbury took him on a little bit, and the umpire says, gone. Holding the ball. No genuine attempt. Free kick will go the way of the Devils, in the way of Jakey Ankrum. Just inside 50.
Well, I thought that was just as is. I don't know whether you thought it was the throw.
Ankrum gave off to Coley. Flying shot on goal is right to the line. And it's all the way. Coley kicks the Devils' first goal of the day and makes it a 1 point ball game once again here at Darley Park. 1-1-7 trails 1 goal to 8 in the second elimination final.
Thought this was going to be the probably Achilles heel for Darley today. They were going to have to come out and hit the deck running. They weren't going to be able to give this side a quarter start like they have been doing in previous games.
Yep. Back in the centre, yep. Rough and running, neutrally one down. Devils trying to go forward here through Angwin. Scotland did get boots of ball, hacked up the deck there by the Lions. Craig Peters by hand. Cleary was bumped as he kicked.
Oh, well done.
Great tackle applied.
Harley down the bottom then?
Yeah, great tackle applied there by Craig Peters on Inglis. Spun around into the middle of the deck. Good hot footy be won in the centre of Darley Park. Back underway. Angwin wins it down. Inglis to his own advantage. Couldn't get through Bondo. He wrapped him up nicely. Ducking the head and Graham rewarded.
Well picked up, am
So Graham from the centre of Darley Park.
Oh, where to?
What was one inside
Jake
50? Edwards didn't know to make an attempt. Britt off the deck clears the danger, but it's going to come straight back. Leonard inside 50, piercing ball, big fist from behind by the Lions. Edwards with a couple of side steps, tries to get the snap around the body. Umpire says he tried. Must have got a boot on it in the slightest. Otherwise, he was gone, and we'll get a stoppage inside 50. 1-1-7 trails 1-2-8. 13 and a half minutes gone. We're just inside 50. Angwin wins it down. Edwards protects the drop zone. Picked up by Bond nicely. Got Jenkins over the top. Gets Lee's left foot kick down the line. Page's best position. Harvey arrives late. Brought the ball to ground. Flips it over the top. Found a teammate. Booming left foot kick down the line in the Atchison direction. Sits up nicely for the youngster. Towards half forward. Chester gets the kind bounce. Gives off to O'Brien. High footy. George in a one-on-one. It's not a place you want to be, Bryce. And he gives away the free kick.
Oh, no.
And Lockie George will line up for goal. 35 out, pretty much directly in front.
Did you have vision of that, mate, or was it post in front of you?
Well, I have a bit of a pole deficiency.
Because I couldn't see it high. I thought he went under his arm. And that's
George
still within
from 35 out to the right-hand side of the goalpost. He's missed. And that's the isolation they want from Lockie George inside 50.
Yeah.
But couldn't hit the scoreboard on this occasion. 2 points to margin.
Especially if he's going to get decisions like that paid for him.
Well, especially going to get one-on-ones with young Bryce Stevenson. That's the matchup they want to try to isolate as much as possible. Again, a young kid, only his 5th or 6th senior game. Cullen plays on fullback, takes on the tackle on Chester, goes out towards the broadcast side. Unable to mark was Waterbury, slapped forward by Inglis.
Well done, Harley.
Baker to himself, gets away by hand, finds Page, out the back to Evans, well played by the Devils. Short kick should find Inglis. He takes the mark, being lively early towards half forward. Edwards bumped out of the contest nicely by Britt.
He played on,
Opened the door for Darley. Big mistake. Scotland's long kick. Diving into the pocket. I think it might be Graham unable to take the mark.
Of the Brian variety.
And we'll get a ball in deep inside 50.
Is that Brian or?
Long away from the footy here, Barry Egg. About 150 metres away down to the other end of the ground.
Probably should have the binoculars out, shouldn't I? But
one goal, 3-9 leads to 1-1-7 here at Darley Park. Back underway. Redan tried to clear through George, couldn't quite do so. Underground hand pass. Scotland in there, so is Baker. Picked out there by the Lions to George. Down the line looking for Stevenson. Crashed the pack, couldn't take the mark. Carrick's kick was right into the midriff of the Redan player. Darley player down after the contest. Slammed forward by O'Brien. Chester and Stevenson. Stevenson overcommits. Chester gets out the back. Got a man over the top. Sells a bit of foot candy instead. Chester says, I'll go all the way with a wobbly ball. It's all about to bounce and it's there. Dean Chester, golden acres end of there. Did it all himself. And Redan get a buffer here at Darley Park. 2-3-15 leads Redan. 1-1. Darley 1-1-7.
15 minutes into the game, Smitty's jumped off the Darley bandwagon and is now
on the Chester bandwagon.
Yeah.
Wonderful goal by Dean Chester.
He still reckons he can catch you anyway, mate.
2-3-15 leads 1-1-7. I ain't going to touch that one this afternoon here at Darley Park. 16 and a half minutes gone in the opening term. Spiteri in the ruck up against Gus Cleary on this occasion. Cleary wins it down. Waterbury nowhere to go by with the Spiteri tackle.
Didn't have much of an attempt, did he?
But was happy to get the secondary ball up.
What about the very, very poor decision by Peter Britt down there? Or Pat Britt?
Almost cost them a goal.
Yeah.
And then that's where the other one kick, and they kick a major. Spiteri through the midfield. Long booming kick. It's about to bounce on this one. And it's the wrong side of the post for a Darley fan. Minor score 1-2-8. Trails 2-3-15.
But that's not a matchup I thought would have worked Pat Britt on Jake. I thought Jake would have been too quick for him. But to his credit, he's kept up with him, hasn't he?
Jenkins towards the outside. Short. Brings the ball to ground with a spoil. Bombed the pack was Thompson. Was maybe legged or held. Will be rewarded. Redan take the advantage through O'Brien. Kick towards half forward. It's cut off by Page. Slip catch style. Picked his pocket. High ball from half back towards half forward. Graham at full extension. Should be paid to mark on a free kick. Take your pick. Brian Graham with the footy in front of the old scoreboard, an electronic scoreboard. Reads his Devil side is behind. Darley go inside 50. Great kick. Hanson in the middle of the pack takes the mark. And
probably could have got a 50, I thought.
No, I was probably in the contest, I reckon, Baz.
Oh, no, he'd taken the mark and had his feet back on the ground. But anyway, it hasn't been paid. But
Handsome and line for goal, about 30 metres out on a slightish angle. To make it a 1 point ball game once again, Barry Ag.
Is it going to be a shootout? It would be a brilliant game if it is. Turns out to be.
Perfect conditions for one. Hanson.
I think he's done it.
Squeezes it in the big sticks. Darley make it a 1 point ball game once again. 2-2-14. Trail Redan 2-3-15 here at Darley Park. BFL game of the round, 979 FM.
Now, while we're waiting for the ball to get back to the centre, something was brought to my attention during the week. Do you find it disconcerting with these electronic scoreboards? They don't have the scores up. Kick a goal and all you see is a goal. We know it's a bloody goal. We want to look
it's
at
all
the
about
scoreboard.
sponsorship, Barry Egg.
Well, no, but it's suddenly just plugging the club, you know.
In the qualifying finals for basketball, kicked the first 2 goals in that game, both through Michael Powell. So they lead in the early stages. Free kick in the middle of the ground. It's going to go the way of Redan and the way of the big man, Big O, Oren Stephenson. He goes down the middle towards centre forward on the lead. McLean on the second bite of the cherry takes the mark. Wheels and go. Inside for Chester.
Oh!
Cops some attention. Sliding in on hands and knees, but they still able to take the mark. Courageous stuff by the veteran, and he'll line for goal number 2. So Dean Chester Kicked a wonderful, wonderful goal only a couple minutes ago. As we approach time on in the opening term, we'll line up from about 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Chester comes in. Kick is on its way. Beautiful strike. It ain't going to make the distance on the line. Bell takes the mark. As the umpire going to pay, just conferring with the goal umpire and says it is a mark. Grant Bell on the goal line. Inexcusable takes the mark. Plays on. Left foot snap. Goal! Redan do get their third of the afternoon. Right when they needed 3-3-21. Lead Darley 2-2-14.
Did the Darley defence take that too easy thinking it was over the line?
Well, I think they thought it was going to be. Bell just played it as it wasn't and was paid the mark, kicked the goal. Some injury update here in front of the Darling bench. You've got Tom Evans, who went down the big contest with Stephenson before. That right shoulder's now heavily strapped and got a bit of a limp up. Copped a big blow when he was collided with Stephenson. Well, he doesn't look 100%.
Well, don't blame me because, hey, he's not a tall unit.
I could work out what he just sort of said there, Baz.
So you and I both.
And it was, I think he's in a lot of pain, was what I was getting.
Smells all right.
Back underway here. Hoy through the midfield. Gets the handball away towards Stevenson to centre half forward. Coley unable to take the mark. Graham coming through. Big tackle applied there by Craig Peters. Opens the door. In there was Atchison. Maybe a bit of high contact, bit of push and shove off the footy. And in the end, a ball up.
I think the umpires are going to have to realise what that thing is in their mouth for, because somebody's going to get killed here soon.
Matthews off by hand to Bond inside 50. Chester once again paid the mark, or some high contact even. Takes it in the right forward pocket. Missed last week for Redan, the veteran. He's been plagued by injuries for the last couple of seasons, but started hot in this elimination final. Couple already taking some marks inside 50. One goal on the board. Chester from about 45 on the other side of the ground will come in, starts it right, drills it back, kicks the goal. His second of the afternoon. Redan's fourth. And a nice handy buffer as we approach quarter time. 22 minutes gone. 4-3, 27 leads, 2-2-14. This is Barry Ag.
Maybe it's a toss that Pagey should have lost.
Well,
the way it's turned out.
The way it has started, Barry Ag, for sure. Because it is Redan have come to play. Jarrett Giampolo has got his men up and firing.
But as Ian said, I don't think there's a great advantage in the wind at the moment, is there?
And Stevenson clinically down to George, working a treat towards half forward. Bell sliding in, unable to take the mark. Cullen went to ground. Still an opportunity now here for Harvey, and Redan gets away. Better. High footy. Umpire says he might pay the mark. Coming from the side there was Hoy. Coley with the fumble on hands and knees, slaps it out and there's a threatened direction. Bounced off his knee, back towards Coley. Umpire says I'll throw things up. Half forward flank, broadcast side, Stevenson and Angwin to go in the ruck. And the big O goes whack inside 50. Graham went without it. Opportunity for Hoy on hands and knees, flips out the hand pass. Angwin getting back in the fence is wrapped up immediately. And a stoppage about 35 out directly in front. On BFL game of the round, 13 points the margin. 50 once again for the Lions. Back on the way, Cleary reaches over the top. George left it behind. Baker coming through. Is wrapped up immediately, had nowhere to go. And another stoppage inside 50. A goal either way here, Barry Ag, in the late stages of this term is huge.
Yep.
Leonard, big spoil, gets it out of there. Strutton gets involved as well.
Harley.
Clever knock on by Inglis. Opportunity now for Graham. Through the head back and is rewarded. Free kick to Nick Graham. Half-back flank region. For Darley on the broadcast side, looks towards the corridor, wants to do some attacking. Kick was good. Mark taking there by looks of Cadman. Plays on immediately from centre half back, pulls the kick towards centre wing. Inglis, who's been so dangerous, takes the mark, goes out wide to Evans, who's back on the ground for his first run. Just came off the gate, goes inside 50, lace out, making the mark there is Edwards sliding in. up against the boundary line.
Most definitely the best passage of play so far for the day by the Darley side, but that was better to watch, wasn't it?
Was Barry Egg up against the boundary line in front of the Redan coach's box. Not deep-ish pockets here at Darley Park.
Do you think they might be giving him a bit of advice of how to kick it?
I think he might be getting a few words of wisdom. Jake Edwards, their leading goal kicker in 2019, because he's been able to do good kicks like that, but that one's just too much to the right, and a minor score, 2-3-15, trailed 4-3-27.
Gave me the impression he was looking for the wind to pick it up and carry it. Did you?
Just a little bit, just hoping that the breeze would just give it a little of a cushion.
A little bit of a curve, and yeah.
His first sider at the big sticks,
But anyway,
Barry Egg.
Yep.
2 goals to margin here. Jenkins will bring the ball back in the field of play. Looks towards the outer side. Looking here for Harvey.
Oh, well played, Scotland.
Did well to reach over the top. Although Harvey Socrates himself and got away from the veteran. Copped some attention with the hand pass. Still found a man. Hoy goes down the line. Looking for a mark here there. Flying high was Atchinson, and he's paid it. Atchinson on that left foot, looking for Chester. Big spoil by Stevenson. Coming across there is Brad Inglis, brought the ground, and we'll get a ball in. The old and the new doing battle. Chester and Stevenson.
Yep.
Fascinating one to watch all afternoon. And a ball in between half forward and centre wing for Redan. Over top was Angwin. Clearing kick coming from Graham. Good
Big
torpedo punt.
Yep.
But Kuhn read it best, and in one motion gives it off. Barker tries a bit of a bull manufacture kick in the middle. Atchinson has to be good between 3. Can't quite win the footy. Coley goes towards the outer side. Opportunity if it sits up for Bewley. But hunting him down was Giampolo. And the coach got him. Holding the ball. Free kick the way of the Lions. The veteran showing he's got some toe left in his legs. He goes short off to Waterbury. And from centre wing sells a bit of foot candy. Looks down the line. Keenan Waterbury looking for a chest. George, unable to get there, crashing his way through. Maybe got some high treatment. Umpire says no. Continues to roll on here. Baker steals it. Coughed up by hand. Atchinson off to Matthews to Thompson. He's a left footer. Loves a goal. It's all about the bounce, and it's offline and out of play. We'll get a ball in deep inside 50. 27 minutes gone in the opening term. This is Barry Agg.
Just absolutely amazed at the different interpretations and the variations.
Flabbergasted is the word you're looking for, Barry Egg.
No, that's not the word, but...
Back on the way. Bell takes out the ruck. Left foot snap over the shoulder is offline. 4 goals, 4-28 leads. 2 goals, 3-15. In the other game, in the qualifying final, it's Sebastopol, 4 goals, 2-26, leading East Point 2-14. So the Kookaburras starting well at the Eastern Oval. Scotland does the kicking and duties. Picked out Stevenson between 3 of them. He takes the mark on half back. Can Darley go end for end in the last stages here? Looks
That's
towards
nice.
centre wing. And
Good
the kick
talk. Good talk. Nick Graham.
takes the mark. Well, called by you, Barry Agg. Graham with it. Looking left and right.
That's nice. Yes.
And the kick was good.
To his brother.
And off the back of the play, Redan unhappy. Britt's gone down. Incident with Edwards. How will the umpire see this?
No,
I mean, all we
he's
see is Britt down behind play, which never looks good.
What's the umpire doing?
And a 50-metre penalty. So it is a Redan ball, is it? Or is he... No, we were just getting some word from our man Smith. That's not. And it looks like it'll be a Redan footy on centre wing. So a bit of confusion out on the ground. But nevertheless...
No, well, he has paid a 50-metre penalty because it was 50 metres back behind there when...
But the ball wasn't there.
down.
But the ball wasn't there. That's not with the advantage. And nevertheless, Stratton takes the mark on half back here.
Someone was knocked off the ball.
Yeah, Paddy Britt, we've seen that, Smithy, but we're not sure what the 50-metre penalty was initially for. Short ball comes in towards Cadman. He looks over the top. And on the lead was Hanson. But that will beat the Devils here at Darley Park. 2-3-15. They trail Redan 4-4-28 for the Lions.
But once again, just I didn't see it because I was watching the fight of the matchup.
Coach on coach. So I was getting to Barry Egg. Jared Jane Polo on Heath Scotland. Let's get the second term underway here from Darley Park. We're off and running. Angwin wrapped up immediately by Stevenson, and when he gets that tree-like grip on you, he ain't going anywhere.
Well, about time, umpire, too.
And for a sling tackle has been pinned Handball off to Graham. Bounced off the chest of his intended target going forward. And Bewley.
High!
And Ankrum got some high
But he's
contact.
played the first free kick or the second. Going.
First one, which was the throw towards him. Thompson takes the advantage towards half forward. Good looking kick. Mark taken there by Lockie George. Too far at the score. 75 from goal. George has it in front of the electronic scoreboard, which reads him side up by 13 points. Sells a bit of foot candy. Runs the 60. Booming kick on its way. Makes the distance, but offline. Minor score. Redan draw first blood in a minor way. 4-5. 29 leads 2-3 15.
Ian, has the wind picked up at all
Or was that just
while you're out there?
just a massive kick by Lockie George?
Has the wind picked up at all since? No, just a massive kick then.
Page towards the broadcast side was looking for Bewley. Bounces in front of him. In the end, the boundary line will win out and runs out a bit of real estate, and we'll get a ball in. In between half forward and centre wing, which is where the majority of the games have been played in the attacking half for Redan so far. Back underway, ball back in. Stevenson just pushes the direct ruckman out of the way, knocks it to the forward of the pack. Picked up there by Graham, gets boot to ball. Coon
That had to be. What was wrong with downfield with that one?
Coon goes towards half forward, good looking kick, and Bell at full stretch is able to take the mark. Right on his range.
Too quick for Cullen, isn't he?
Just too quick on the lead in general at the moment, other lines. Bell, big kick on its way, makes the distance, but offline as well. So some missed opportunities for the Lions at the goal face.
I tell you what, the Devils are pretty lucky that the Lions have been so inaccurate.
4-6-30 leads 2-3-15. Graham goes down the middle, asking a lot, but the kick is okay. Mark taken there by Tommy Evans, 2015 Reserve Player of the Year. Looks towards the outer side, and the mark should be taken there by the Devils and by Shane Page. Page with it, the captain. Has been waved to play on. Looks towards centre wing.
Wind held that one up, didn't it?
Hanson unable to take the mark. Umpire comes in and says, I will ball things up after a big tackle on centre wing. On the outer side, virtually right across the ground from our broadcast position. In the commentary bus this afternoon. One down by Stevenson. Thompson applies a good tackle. Ball spills through eventually. Graham takes it with him. This is Nick. By hand, off to Angwin. Inside, finds Baker. Left foot towards centre half forward. Big ball by Smith. Hanson, though, attacks the footy. Bumped out of the way by Hoy. And Hoy says, thank you very much. Pounds it inside 50 with the high ball. Caught at the back. Mark is taken by McLean. Quick footy. Just long kicks. Inside 50. Catches the defence off guard. And Lockie McLean takes the mark.
I don't know whether that's going to be indicative of the game, but Hanson... unit personified, just pushed off basically with a finger.
Liam Hoy, I mean, he's a big man as well, but he made him look like a child in the contest. McLean will come in from just inside the paint. VFL list player at North Melbourne. Kick is on its way. Kick is straight. Kick is a goal. Redan, perfect start as they did in the opening term here at Darley Park. Moved to 5 goals, 6-36, Darley, 2-3-15. All the big names on the board now in Chester, Bell and McLean up forward for the Lions.
Worrying signs for the Devils?
Just a little bit. The Buffers stretched out here now to 21 points. And in what's going to be a tight and contested game, we feel...
we hope. We hope.
We kind of you get into stages already where the Devils probably have to get the next at the 4-minute mark of the second term.
I suggest you got to. Oh, well done, Steve-O.
Stevenson just takes out the ruck, sends it forward. Redan one another, bounces through all the way through, and goes through for a minor score.
Oh, I think it came off hands anyway on the back.
I'm assuming it would have.
Yep.
But a minor score nevertheless. 5-7-37 leads 2-3-15. Darley goes short. Baker takes the mark inside defensive 50. Luther Baker by foot finds Scotland. He takes the mark. Scotland looks into the corridor. Angwin able to mark at centre half back in front. Stevenson looks across the ground. Got men streaming for him. One of them, Shane Page.
Yeah.
He takes the mark, unable to continue to go as quickly as he would have liked. High footy makes it hard for Ankrum. But
he makes it look easy, doesn't he?
He made it look very easy, Jake Ankrum. took the mark towards half forward. Good kick. Mark taken there by Lee Spiteri. Good build up by the Devils. Spiteri too far at the score. Wants players to come at him. Edwards is the one. He sees it at the back. Smith had to be clean. Got it away towards the boundary line. Safety first. We'll get a ball in about 30 out from goal. 5.5 minutes played. Darley inside 50. Stevenson and Angwin to do the ruck battle.
Oh,
And Stevenson got there first. Didn't really find a man with the tap down Matthews, and in the end a stoppage ensues inside 50.
don't know how you saw it, but I thought Stevenson could have had a free kick there.
And we'll get a ball up. About 25, 30 from goal. Back on the way. Big O once again. George boots the ball. Just goes the required journey, but it's not outside 50. Carrick to off to Graham. To Page. Inside 50. Lowered the eyes looking for Spiteri. Did well. Got it back towards Page. Stepped around Barker. Tried to step around McQueen. Couldn't quite do so. Opportunity now here for Kuhn. Handball was partially smothered. Foot candy was good there by Craig Peters. Handball off to McLean was superb. And Redan one go once again. Off half back. McLean towards half forward. Out to meet it was Chester. Got an unkind bounce. Stevenson by hand. Off to Scotland. To Cullen. To Coley. Try to get away. Didn't get away. It's either high or it's ball. And the umpire says it's holding the ball. Free kick the way of the Lions. Free kick will go the way of Atchison. Took him on. Got caught. Free kick Lions. 7 minutes gone in the second term. Cooper Atchison. From just inside 50. Comes in. Left foot kick goes on its way. Is near side and minus score.
Poetic justice.
5 goals, 8-38 leads 2-3-15. 1 goal, 4 in this term for the Lions. Barriag. Just not putting them away. Having the opportunities in front of the big sticks. Will that come back to bite them? Scotland towards the outside. Leonard takes the mark. Off towards Page.
Oh,
Out towards Coley. He goes short and finds Brian Graham in front of the electronic scoreboard, which reads his side down currently by 23 points. Kick towards centre wing, was looking for Inglis, punched over the top, ball goes out of play. We'll get a ball in on centre wing, Barriag.
sort of lost interest, mate. Sorry,
A bit of push and shove continues, but
but they're not pushing and shoving the right people.
yes. Back on the way here. Redan go forward. Sweeping hand pass found Lockie George. Inside 50. Cleary. Unable to take the mark. Did he caught some attention the way through? This is threatened by hand. Gave it off to a teammate. Umpire says it was not a correct disposal. Free kick will go away the Lions. 20 metres out directly in front. Push and shove continues. Nevertheless, Bell's lining up directly in front.
And why am I not surprised?
Well, did he handball the footy, Barriag? I'm not sure if it was. I think the umpire got it right. And Bell kicks the goal. Redan looking the goods here. 6 goals, 8-44 lead the Devils. 2-3-15 here at Darley Park.
I'm not suggesting that it was not the correct decision on that one. But when somebody gets dragged around the neck and he then pays holding the ball, I thought you pay the first bloody free kick, should be. And that was about a 1 millisecond decision-making process.
9.5 minutes
anyway,
gone.
yep.
Second term. We are back underway here at Darley Park. Handball off towards Graham.
Nick.
Inside 50.
Well,
Edwards
through
just
Jake's hands.
couldn't take the mark, and an opportunity still though. Scotland off the deck, didn't get great purchase on the soccer, and it went out of bounds. We'll get a ball in.
Well, I'd take that as a win at this stage for the Devils.
Obvious statement of the year though. They
Gives them a chance to reset a little bit.
they're throwing Edwards in the ruck here. They go against Smith. Edwards with the original fist. Bond fumbled, stolen there by Barker. Clears for the Lions, and that's a nice mark taken there by by the Lions and by O'Brien. He's kicked towards half forward, off hands, slapped by the Lions, continually forward to Stevenson, running inside 50. The big O goes bang! And the Lions have 7. Stevenson gets on the board this afternoon. It is one-way traffic here at Darley Park. Would you believe it, Barry Ag?
Not at all. Now, we saw Darley come back from a 30-point deficit against the Pointers.
Yes.
This is 35 points.
Can they do it against...
Is 35 points beyond them? And the way they're playing,
Well,
I think it is.
Well, the way the thing is, the Kangas didn't have the experienced players like the Stevensons and the Georges and the Hoys and co. So a new test for this daring Darley side. Bond wrapped up
Now,
by...
see, once again, it's the same bloody thing that's down there.
And we'll get a ball up. Secondary one in the middle of the ground. Barry Ag. Going into our yoga poses here in the commentary bus. Back underway. Baker.
Hi!
Wrapped up by George. Umpire says no prior opportunity. We will get a ball up. BFL game of the round. 35 points to margin. Back underway. One down by the Lions, but taken away by Darley towards half forward. Carrick takes the mark.
He's been conspicuous by his absence so far.
Plays on. Good kick. Mark should be taken by Edwards. Inside 50. Good passage of play. And he still looks quick on the lead, Jake Edwards. Like too quick, for Pat Brent. They just got to get him the space to work and move.
Said before that I thought he was going to be too quick, but Pat's been keeping up with him so far.
And he was the man, in my opinion, 2 weeks ago that really lifted the Devils in their come from behind win.
Yep.
Can he do it again by hitting the scoreboard here? Edwards comes in and he misses.
Oh, can't afford those ones, Jake.
He thinks he's got the hands up against umpire series saying he thought it put it through the big sticks, but the goal umpire on the spot says it's a goal.
And I just read what Jake said too.
2-4-16 trails 7-8-50. Jenkins will bring the ball back in the field of play.
Something along the lines of going down and seeing Specsavers or something like that.
High ball, Cleary couldn't take the mark. O'Brien towards half forward. The big men in Leonard and Stevenson collide. Leonard bounces up first. Got a turn of speed over the top towards Evans. He goes inside to Angwin. Nowhere to go though. Bearing down was O'Brien. Slapped forward there by the Lions. Still an opportunity for them. Page. He's tackled by O'Brien as well. Well done by the young fella. 3 or 4 attempts there. And the ball goes out of play. We'll get it thrown in front of the Redan coach's box, which would be very, very happy at the moment, Barry Ag.
Be far happier than the Darley coach's box, I would suggest.
Off the foot of George. Umpire says play on. McLean got it away towards Cleary. Inside 50. His kick goes. Looking for a mark over the top. Off hands. Chester boots the ball. Still a chance for the Lions. Back towards the goal square. Off the deck. Goal umpire says it's good. It's a goal. And it's going to go the way of Craig Peters on the goal line. Redan 8-8-56 now. Darley 2-4-16. Panic stations at Darley Park. Wowee, Barry Ag.
I'm just trying to pick up who it was. That Darley player, did the Darley player seem to give up on that one? Did you think?
Just a little bit. I think I
thought a lot, but
I think I know who it was too, Barry Ag. It might have been this man here with his defensive pressure not coming to the forefront on that occasion. Back underway. Scotland couldn't quite get away. Now Hoy, umpire says Scotland was hammered by Thompson. And the coach.
Well, that's who I thought it was too, but then I thought, no, it can't be because
Baker gets the crumbs.
Once again,
off to Coley.
Many times you got to grab
steps around the would-be tackler. Runs to 48. Blake Coley flying shot on goal. Cadman in the square. And they'll take the mark off hands through for a minus score. 2-5-17. Trails 8 goals, 8-56. Barry Ag.
How many times did you see Baker get nicked then?
We got hit high, probably once. High ball. Atchison arrives late. Baker off the deck. Inside 50. Carrick at the back towards Scotland. Off one step. Inside 50. Cadman's got the sit. And they'll take the mark. Devils still have a chance. Can't quite find the footy.
Oh, well
Diving
done,
in
Joe.
once, twice, 3 times was Giampolo. Contact below the knees. And a free kick will go the way of Darley. And the way of Jack Bewley. Desperation by the coach goes unrewarded and goes against him. Shot on goal for Bewley. Gee, it's a big call in the final.
I was just going to ask you.
Bewley comes in
Offline
and
again.
misses. And the Devils not helping themselves in front of the big sticks in this term. 3 behinds.
Have they reprinted a new rules book during the week?
2-6-18. Not going to touch it, Baz. To 8-8-56. Jenkins plays on, comes out towards the broadcast side. O'Brien did well to trap it. Steps back, kicks into Brian Graham. The ball goes out of play. Ball in between centre wing half forward region. 16 minutes gone, second term. Darley desperate to lift here. Trailing by 38 points at Darley Park. Cleary only goes as far as
Cougar.
and
Brad
Brad Inglis couldn't quite extract. We'll get another stoppage. Back underway. Angwin went early, reaching over the top. Umpire said it was fine. Diving in there upon the pack is the number 37 in Jacob Short. And another ball up. So a bit of a stalemate for the last minute or so here in what's been an open, free-flowing game here at Darley Park. In beautiful sunshine and perfect conditions for footy. Spring-like day. Scotland held without it. Will be rewarded with the free kick.
And of all the innocuous free kicks to be paid,
Goes inside
Oh!
50 and Britt just professionally and legally got rid of Edwards and took the mark. Pat Britt goes off by hand. Off to Jenkins, who stepped around a would-be tackler. High ball towards the outside. To Stratton, tried to take the mark, couldn't quite do so. Opportunity now for Craig Peters, sends it forward. Now Waterbury with some run in his legs. Inside towards there was Bell
Ding
taking
dong,
the mark. He looks inside 50 on the move against Chester and he takes the mark.
stager to stager, old stager to old stager.
And the run and carry and the zip and the zag is just on for Redan at the moment. They can't miss a target. Can they make him pay on the scoreboard? Dean Chester has 2 already. But the 4th time he's lined up a goal. Chester comes in from 48. Kick is on its way. Near side. Milan score. 8 goals, 9-57. Leads 2 goals, 6-18 here at Darley Park.
Didn't miss by much, but still missed. But it was a good attempt, wasn't it?
Very much so, Barry Egg. High footy by Darley. Coon.
Oh!
Slapped it back towards Thompson. Gets away from 50. Blake Thompson lines up at the goals. It's bending back. Wrong side of the post. Minor score. 8 goals, 10-58. Leads Darley 2-6-18. A game high 40-point margin here at Darley Park.
And the sad part about the scoreboard is Redan have had 10 more scoring shots than Darley.
Angwin should be paid the mark. Nice and strong. In front of Stevenson. Looks across the ground. Page done well, found plenty of space there. Got George bearing down on him. Kick towards centre half forward. Barker over the top with the first spoil, then the second. Tries to clear the territory. Page got his own footy back. Now an opportunity here towards half forward. Was looking for a man in Ankrum. The kick was ill-directed. And in the end, run out of real estate. We'll get a ball in front of the Darley coach's box. Side trails by 40 points here. We played 19 minutes in the second term. Redan looking the goods here against Darley, who haven't lost to this ground in the last 15 matches. Back underway. Graham. Baker slaps to his own advantage. Gets away. Left foot kick towards half forward. Ankrum, Scotland. Held without it once again. He's Scotland. For about the 3rd time in this term. The coach right on his limit from just outside 50. Does those old legs still have the journey? Wants to set up the kick instead. Found a man in between a couple. That's good footy. Mark taken by Jake Ankrum.
The only problem was it was meant for Brian.
Nevertheless, Mark to the Devils. Ankrum will line up pretty much directly in front.
Although I think I'd probably prefer Brian to have it.
Well, can Ankrum, as we ticked in just time on now.
And to say they need this is an understatement of massive proportions.
Comes in. Those where the goals are at. Keeps it low.
Jake is giving it the clap.
Splits at the middle. Goal to Ankrum. Darley's first of the term and one they so desperately needed. Breaks a run of, I think it was 6 unanswered Redan goals at that point.
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Ankrum on the board. 3 goals, 6-24. Trails, 8 goals, 10-58 here at Darley Park. On BFL game of the round, 979 FM. Evans still doing some run-throughs for us. We've seen him come back on, but still just doesn't look quite 100% after that big incident on centre wing with Stevenson.
He seemed to have a little bit of a hip.
Bit of a grimace on the face too.
Yep. Another free kick being paid.
In the midfield. And we'll
got to go back. Yep.
Come back towards Nick Graham, who's been industrious. Towards half forward. Kicks good. Graham to Graham. Brian takes the mark. 55 from goal. Too far out. Looking for the lead of Edwards, who takes the mark. Good footy played all round. And Darley will line up for 2 in a minute in the capable hands of their leading goal kicker in 2019, Jake Edwards. Henderson medalist, of course, premiership player in all facets. And will come in, kick high, wobbly, and remarkably didn't get enough on the kick, held up, and went through for my score. Very uncharacteristic, Barry Ag.
It looks as though that there is still a fit. Once you get above, up the top, mate, it looks as though there might be still a bit of breeze blowing. And a free kick whistle being played.
Well, Barker down the middle straight to Stevenson with a kick. Cut it off to Carrick, though. Off to Graham, looking down the middle. Baker continues to lock it on. Inglis, back to Baker. Hot footy to be won in the middle of Darley Park. Players come from everywhere. Bell was one of them. Redan locked things up, but yes, as you say that, Barry, Barker, able to kick the ball from full back straight down the middle to the centre of the ground. Edwards, an unmarked distance from 35 metres, illustrates that point to full effect. Back underway, Stevenson wins it down. Hoy went without it. Stevenson in there as well once again. Scotland as well. The coach, wrapped up by Bond, spun around 360. Umpire said sling tackle for the second time this afternoon. The dumping tackle will go the way of Darley. And the way of East Scotland. Short kick to half forward. Mark should be taken there by Bewley. Too far to score from 55. Looks for a lead. High kick in the Edwards directions. Atchison getting back. Created a contest and took the mark in the end.
Yep. Second, third, fourth bite.
And he goes across here to Waterbury. Takes the mark. Redan just want to take the sting out of things here in the opening half. They've controlled the majority of the game. Across towards Jenkins, who marks. And he goes down the line. Arcs a bit of young Daniel Bond. Almost took the mark. Bewley's on his hammer. Ball's on the ground. Umpire waves play on. Gets it off now towards Craig Peters. He's kicked towards half forward. Towards Chester. Gets that kind bounce. Turn of speed was good. Flips it back towards Craig Peters, but the handball was just a bit ill-directed. Still an opportunity, though, for Atchison. Wheels and deals. Got one high, says the umpire.
About time!
And I think a 50-metre penalty as well.
Looks like it.
And this is massive. Absolutely massive. Darley was cementing some form of comeback.
And not only is it a massive call, it's a massive 50 too. I reckon it's about 70.
Do you reckon it's massive? I reckon he's giving him absolute unders there, Baz. He's only 55 from goal. And he's going to kick from 25. Nevertheless, dobs it. He's second of the afternoon. Sorry, he's first of the afternoon. Redan's 9th. And the Lions restore a handy lead here at Darley Park. 9 goals, 10, 64 leads. Darley, 3, 7, 25. Here on BFL Game of the Round on the 979 FM.
And
7 goal kickers in open half for the Lions.
I was just going to say, at this stage, this would have to be probably one of the most remarkable comebacks in the second half for Darley to snatch this one.
Yeah, in finals footy history, that's for sure. George, down the middle, sends it into the full forward position, just threatened under all sorts of pressure, just knocks it professionally towards the boundary line. We'll get a ball in. 39 points here at Darley Park. We knew Redan were going to come with that nothing to lose, carefree attitude, and boy, they are hunting and playing some terrific footy. Free kicks been picked out in the ruck contest inside 50 for the Lions. It's going to go the way of Darley, though. In the hands of Darren Leonard, the vice-captain. Goes towards the broadcast side. George, though, just read it best off the boot, took the mark. And from his kick from the last attempt, we saw him Baz from about 60. He's within range here on the set shot.
Who did he outmark? Is that Nick Graham?
It is.
Goodness. He did that so easily.
Lockie George from about 60. Yes, 60, ladies and gentlemen. And he thinks he's got the left. Comes in. Kick is on its way. Right to the goal line. It was straight, but touched on the line. Minor score. 9 goals, 11.65. Leads 3 goals, 7.25.
About another 2 ounces of pressure on it, and that was a goal.
Scotland plays on for fullback. Goes towards the outer side with a high footy. Pack of players converge. Ball hits the deck. Giampolo off to Matthews. Inboard kick. Mark taken there by Hoy. Liam Hoy with it.
King of the kids.
Inside 50. Big fly off the top by Darley. And yeah, BFL game of the round. It's going to result in a Redan shot on goal. Overcommitting there was the Darley defender. And Grant Bell, tucked up against the left forward pocket, will get his look at his third major.
I was slightly distracted by the king of the kids.
Comes in, and his side, minor score, Redan. Another behind. 9 goals, 12.66. The 3 goals, 7.25.
But the only thing you can read on the scoreboard is about a similar parity between goals and behinds for both sides.
It's a basketball lead in the qualifying final. 6 goals, 3.39 to East Point's 4 goals, 5.29. So the Kookaburras holding on as they approach halftime in that game. And we're approaching halftime in our game here in the second elimination
And
final.
if there is any breeze up in Ballarat, it'll be blowing straight across the ground at Eastern, roughly. So, yep.
Scotland out towards our side. Ooh. Mark's taken there by Page. Just got a couple bit of contact in the midriff, but all right. Inboard looking for Baker. Inglis got there first. Off to Evans. Just bangs the kick forward. Hopes for the best. We're the runners. This is Angwin. Looks inside 50. Piercing ball. Edwards takes the mark. And for about the 4th or 5th time, Edwards has marked inside 50. Yet to hit the scoreboard in a major way. As we approach time on, their spearhead has to stand up.
Got the coach all by himself. But then again, why would you go backwards, Heath?
After the siren here, half-time, Jake Edwards will kick from 50 on a 45-degree angle. Massive either way. Edwards comes in. Kick is on its way. Gets underneath it. And the breeze catches it. And no score is recorded.
Well, sorry, Ian. I will disagree with you. There is a breeze out there.
And that kick illustrates it. And he didn't learn his lesson, Baz. He just kicked it as high as he did from 35 and didn't make the distance. Half-time here on BFL Game of the Round, 979 FM. Scoreboard reads Darley, 3 goals, 7.25, trailing Redan, 9 goals, 12.66 for the Lions, 2 goals apiece to Bell and Chester and singles to Cleary, McLean, Stevenson, Craig Peters and Atkinson, whilst for the Devils, Hanson, Coley and Ankrum are all on the board. Barry Ag, before we take a good 10 to 15 minute break here at Darley Park, your first half summation of footy here at Darley.
Full credit to the Lions. Can't take anything away from the Devils. They have tried very, very hard, but just been out-muscled, I think, is probably the right terminology to do it by the Redan football side. And my good mate out in the centre is about the only signalling the scores are correct. Is probably about the only correct bloody decision the umpires have made all day.
Well,
but that's not taking anything away from where the scoreboard reads, and at 41 points to
we'll be able to get him through. But nevertheless, let's get back to our match broadcast here, Baz, because
I'd rather talk about that than watch this stupid bloody.
Let's see how the second half unfolds. Can the Devils come back off and running once again? Stevenson down. George from the midfield.
Yeah.
A throw, though, to Lockie George will result in a free kick. Go the way of the Devils, in the way of Ankrum. Gives off to Angwin. How often those two combined is ridiculous. Inside 50. Lions trying to clear, can't quite do so.
It's like netball.
Just bouncing between a couple of players there. Hoy by hand. Good use by Stevenson. Left behind, though. There was the Redan player. Opportunity here for Graham towards half forward. Bit of holding going on off the footy.
And Pagey on the forward line.
Takes the mark.
Well done, Shane.
Well, the last time we were here, Barriak, we saw him go forward to kick a couple of goals. Can he do it again? Shane Page from outside 50.
If ever they need a case of deja vu, this is it.
The old-fashioned captain's goal. He's done it so many times for his footy club. Will it be the moment here? Shane Page, in the opening minute of the third term, will come in from outside 50. Thumping kick is on its way. Starts it right. It's not going to make it all the way back towards the goal face, and is a minor score.
Well, the wind picked it up, but just not enough, did it?
3 goals, 8-26. Crowls, 9 goals, 12-66. To start the Darling went after in terms of an attacking sense, unable to get it through the big sticks, though. Still a chance, though, at fullback, Matthew. Dean Chester starting the game off, just doing some run-throughs.
Well,
got some news during the break that he could have a bit of a hamstring issue.
He even looks to be just walking gingerly, doesn't he?
And the boundary umpire here has picked up the old-fashioned too many people in the square sort of deal. And Redan going to take the advantage.
Stevenson to George.
George, inside 50, looking for Bell.
Good punch.
Good punch by Stevenson. Sees that play. We'll get a ball in. I haven't seen one of those ones, I reckon, in 2019. The old boundary umpire saying, free kick, Redan, too many people in the square. Doesn't happen very often in the Ballarat Football Netball League. Back underway. Stevenson wins it down. Slap forward by Redan inside 50. Opportunity for Bell.
Ball.
Threw it away. Umpire waves play on. Tackle by McLean on Angwin. Wraps things up inside 50.
And it went through before unnoticed, but we had a paddy wagon go through behind us. It's just left the ground now, but went through with lights flashing and everything. So I don't know whether they picked somebody up who was behaving obnoxiously.
Handball there by Scotland. Off towards Baker. Coughed it up though. Barker. Out of back to Jarrett Giampaolo. Towards half forward. Matthews gets in there and takes the mark for Redan. Too far at the score. Lockie George is the deepest of forwards. That's where the kick goes.
Call for it.
George in a one-on-one.
Oh, that's a free kick.
Umpire lets it go. No whistle paid. Darley trying to clear through Scotland. Able to do so down the line. Hanson takes the mark at full stretch.
And that's why it's a free kick every day, umpire, because the player came up injured.
Hanson down the line. Good use. Mark taken there by Edwards.
Far too far out for Jakey.
Centre wing on the broadcast side.
But
to be correct. Edwards with it.
That's a better kick, Jake.
Got a loose man centre half forward, which is spotted. Spiteri needs the climb bounce. Smith gets there to add some defensive pressure. Darley plays everywhere. Holding going on. Free kick. Professional free kick by Smith will go the way of Carrick. Jackson Carrick too far at the score. Goes into the left forward pocket. Diving there was Cadman. Unable to mark. Numbers still with the Devils. Here's Spiteri again from 48. Snap around the body. Didn't get the purchase on the kick. Bit of a chaos ball goes through for a minor score. Darley. 4 goals, 9-33. Trails 9-12-66. 33 points. But Barrier, you can just feel it. They're coming a little bit here in the opening 5 minutes.
Done all the attacking so far this quarter.
Ian Smith, get those vocal cords ready, I reckon. We might be having something strange on the cards. High ball from Barker out to the broadcast side. Off hands. Scotland and Page look at each other and say, I'll go out the back towards Ankrum. He gives the footy out to Carrick. He goes looking for Coley. Sits up for Blaine Coley. Steps around a would-be tackler. Out the back he goes towards Carrick. Stiff arm was superb. Got away just in time. Sends a high footy inside 50. Stevenson in the hole. Takes the mark. The big O.
Not a very good kick by.
Was looking for George, 2 to beat, but shows all his class. Looking for a support, decides to take a bounce and run away instead. Kick inboard, looking for Waterbury, and he's got plenty of wheels. Waterbury picked up in one motion. High footy inside 50, looking for Gus Cleary. Sits up for him. Snap on goal. Off line. Could have been the killer blow for Redan. And Cleary couldn't get through the big sticks. Minor score.
That deserved much better, but what a feeble attempt at a tackle down there.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Barry Hagan. Very good linguistics there, Baz. I like that one. Coley wants to go towards Scotland, who's tried all afternoon. The coach on left foot. Use was in the Edwards direction. Bum was off Britt's chest and goes towards Giampaolo. He goes off to Waterbury. Hoy tacks it at all ferocity, takes the mark, plays on immediately, looking for the leader, Bell, and he takes the mark. 50 from goal, 45-degree angle, won't have the distance from there. McLean's loose in the pocket. He hasn't spotted him to right now. The kick was overcooked though, went through for a behind. McLean was all by himself, and the kick wasn't good enough. Minor score Redan. Darley escape. And Carrick marks on the half-back line. 9-14-68 leads to 4-9-33. Carrick short ball to Inglis. Too tall for him. Numbers with the Lions. Barker, 55 from goal. Piercing ball into the left forward pockets. Out in the full. Missed the target in McLean again. Can't buy a ticket at the moment.
But Carrick's kick was indicative of the way Darley have played all day to a leading Harley Inglis, and it was... The kick would have been a magnificent pass to Oren Stevenson.
You couldn't have summed it up better myself, Barry. Coley in his defensive right back pocket on the broadcast side. High footy in front of the commentary. Bus position. Carrick. Big fly. Couldn't bring it down. Graham. Stiff arm was superb.
Oh! Stupid hand pass.
Hand pass towards Angwin was
well
poor.
Done, Trent, yes.
One on by there by Brad Inglis. Gave it off there to Stratton. High footy towards Cadman. Graham coming through. Brought the ground. Push in the back, says the umpire. Free kick will go the way of Graham, of the Brian variety. The number 9. Been quiet for his illustrious standards this afternoon. Looks towards the broadcast side. Kick was superb. Handsome.
Beautiful.
Marks on his chest.
In amongst 3 defenders. That was
Pulls the kick in the Edwards direction. Can't mark a full stretch. Inglis at the bottom of the pack. Handball off to a teammate. Back to Jakey Edwards. Right foot snap. It's all about the bend. Wrong side. Yeah, wrong side of the post, I think.
I thought it hit it.
The umpire says it was on the wrong side. Nevertheless, minor score. Darley don't get through the big sticks.
Either way, it still only counts as 1 point, doesn't it?
4-10-34. Trails at 9-14-68. A 34-point margin. George from full back goes short to Barker. Wanted to back it. Barker said, I thought better of it. Pulls the kick down the line. Beautiful to Harvey. He takes the mark. Gives it off to Waterbury. Handball in the vacant space. Wants Jenkins to attack it. Graham didn't apply some pressure.
Done.
2 lines fight over it. They still get the footy back to Waterbury. Inside 50. Bell wants it at the back. Second by the Cherry. Couldn't bring it down. Still an opportunity for the Lions. Cleary couldn't quite clear. Opportunity there for Leonard. The vice captain goes to ground in a big tackle. And once again, survival in defence for the Devils. BFL game of the round. 979 FM. 9 minutes gone. Third term. Back underway. Neither ruckman touch it. Graham coming through. Brought the ground by Thompson. Picked up there by Hoy. Hand pass was partially smothered. Nick Graham mops things up. Dribbling ball down the line.
Nice.
Gains
That's a nice touch, yep.
15, 20 metres or so. And we'll get a ball in. In between front of the coach's box for the Devils. Here on BFL Game of the Round on 979 FM. We're back on the way.
Trent Angwin.
Angwin with the big fist. Inglis couldn't get away. Waterbury with him. Scotland comes in, locks things up. And a stoppage. 10 minutes gone, third term, Barrag. Scoreboard's 34 points. The Devils have the capabilities of hitting the scoreboard. They've been the better team this term. I've got a question for you in just a moment as Stevenson wins it down to George and Graham sees on the line.
Well done.
Gee, that's some class going around the footy. But
Yep.
Barry Ag, do Darley persist to pressure in this form, or do they need to start to think about option B/C in the near future?
Well, if they have an option B/C, I think they should be implementing it.
Brad Inglis off to Graham. Look away, hand passes to Thratton. Here he gets the Jets on. High footy in the Edwards direction. 1-on-1 with Britt. Bit of push and shove in the middle of Darley Park too, which I want you to watch. Barry Ag back underway. Smith knocks it towards the boundary line. Was pretty professionally done. Umpire says we'll throw things in 35 from goal. Bit of a frustrated Brian Graham went charging in after the tackle from Harvey on Stratton. Nothing too untoward from it, just bit of an ugly scene on a football field, that's all I want to say. Back underway.
Well, it's been an ugly bloody scene from the first bounce.
Back underway here. Thompson's kicks off the outside the boot, just falls in the field of play. He was dumped as he kicked. Late by Graham, and I reckon a card might be coming out here for the late hit because the Redan players jumped up and down immediately. Didn't like it. I reckon there might be a yellow one coming out for the hit, and I'd say it's...
Doesn't look like it so far.
Yeah, the umpire had a yellow card in his hand.
There was nobody making a way towards the ground.
Well,
There we go.
Brian Graham, who was the man I was just speaking of, looks to be, and
Yep.
coming off the ground, and I would say he's been given his marching orders. For not the first time this year has young Brian found himself in a little bit of trouble on the footy field.
No, we've got 15 minutes to recuperate.
It means the Devils are down
Well,
for the next 15 or so.
how many times have we seen this? A team is in the wilderness, they lose a play, and you say, well, all over, and they lift.
Amazing sometimes how that just sort of
Gives them the impetus.
exactly, Baz. Atchison towards centre wing. Thompson was the man who was collected, takes the mark. Ever the antagonist. The ex-Victorian bush ranger. Playing his craft on the football field now for the Redan Lions. Thompson with it. High footy towards half forward. Big fly by Bell. Cullen claims the mark. Umpire says no. Big tackle by Lockie George.
Well,
Straight to the turf.
Once again, they've paid 3 sling tackles. What was the difference between that one?
I think the umpire... I'm not sure. I'm really not sure that one.
As I said,
George
yeah.
gone. Umpire says no. Scotland gave it off towards Inglis. In the end, the umpire says we'll throw things up. I think it was in the second motion, Baz.
No,
I think
okay.
I think it was more of a real strong booming tackle.
Well done, Brad Inglis.
Off to Graham, but he's coughed it up to Giampaolo. Off the top to Harvey. Handball inside was good. Inside 50 goes Craig Peters. Stevenson's the deepest forward. The big O couldn't take the mark. On the pack is Atchison. Gets the crumbs, kicks the goal. A goal of the Lions. Atchinson's second of the afternoon. And for all the good work, Darley, in this term, it's been undone. Redan, 10 goals, 14-74 lead. Darley, 4-10-34 here at Darley Park.
I thought there might have been a backman there. Might have been a little bit stiff not to get a free kick from the big bloke.
Potentially. On BFL Game of the Round. 979 FM, 40 points of margin. It's been the game high all afternoon and all the way over Redan. Back underway. Spiteri couldn't quite find a teammate. Has to hack it off the deck. Angwin by hand. Found a teammate in Ankrum. At the back here goes Scotland. Off to Carrick. Streaming off halfback. Sweeping hand pass to Lee Spiteri. Runs runs forward, looking for low for Cadman. He could take the mark. An opportunity now for Barker out of the fence. Goes across defensive 50. Finds the coach, Jarrett Giampalo. So Giampalo goes short. Waterbury, who's been superb, carrying on his good form from last week, Barry Ag.
Yeah, well, it was, but Giampalo got a migraine then, trying to work out who to kick it to. We had 7 options.
You're not wrong, Baz. McLean goes down the line, looking for Cleary, but well done by Angwin. Stood strong, took the mark.
I tell you what, there's at least 10 players in the black and white Guernseys that want to take a leaf out of Trent Angwin's book.
Here, Barry Ag. Short ball finds Leonard off to Coley. He's looking side to side. He's got Stevenson on his hammer. He's able to get away from him with ease, but nothing to really go to. Arcs a bit of Cadman, unable to mark. Jenkins with him. Zach Jenkins gives off to George, and the defence wins out. The cavalry did arrive. Hand pass off to Matthews. Goes towards Bell. Big fist from the side there by Cullen. Sees the ball out of play. Wook a boundary throw in 40 points of margin. BFL game of the round. All Redan here this afternoon at Darley Park. In the other game happening down the Eastern Oval, it's the Kangaroos have taken the lead by 2 points in the early stages of the third term there. 16 minutes gone now. Match for broadcast. We're back underway.
Not surprising, the results coming from Eastern Oval.
A throw against Bond will result in a Scotland free kick.
He's been about the only Darley player that's been the recipient of a free kick today.
I think it's been the 5th time, I reckon, the Heaters got a free. Short ball. Cadman couldn't mark. Spiteri, bomb the pack was good. Goes towards half-court. Edwards got the arms chopped.
That's got to be
And the umpire agrees with me. Free kicked away of the Devils. So Jake Edwards with a breeze at his back from outside 50.
He's going to
go laterally towards Scotland instead. Just thought for a moment he might have unloaded a big booming drop punt.
Oh, that would have had to go about 80 metres though, wouldn't it?
I don't think it was too far of his capabilities. Scotland goes inside 50. Off hands. Lines clear. Barker, high footy, and by himself, Bell takes the mark. Virtue on the other side of the ground by himself. The only player in that vicinity. Goes short to Lockie George. Sweeping ball's a good one. Redan will go to the attack again. Craig Peters with a long ball. Looking for O'Brien. Got rid of Stevenson. O'Brien with the dribbling goal. And ball into the post. Minor score. Would have shut the gate, sealed the deal. Couldn't get through the big sticks. Redan lead by 41 points. Back underway. Darley on the broadcast side. Page got 3 to beat.
Well done, Pagey.
But unfortunately, the numbers prevail. McLean with the sidestep. Inside with me. O'Brien takes the mark. Made the old 7-point play. Although he's a bit worried about distance. Is Liam O'Brien. 50 from goal. He decides he's going to probably palm this off. He arcs around, sends a high footy right to the goal square. Stevenson's down there, unable to impact the contest. The veteran in Leonard just sees it through for a minor score. 10 goals, 16-76 leads 4 goals, 10-34 in the second elimination final. Remember, there's no second chances this afternoon. Everyone said third place in the Ballarat Football Network League was well placed. Well, in the under-19s, 6 got up. In the reserves, 6 got up. And it's looking like 6 is going to get up here in the seniors at Darley Park. Scotland plays on from fullback, takes a bounce, has literally nowhere he wants to really go. Goes across goal on left foot, finds the vice-captain in Leonard. Leonard goes back to Scotland. He's had a ball on the string this afternoon. Out of the fence, looking for Cadman. Bit of holding going on. Free kick should go away of the Devils. And does so. But they've broken down here a number of times. Off to Coley. Bangs the kick forward. From the side. Kuhn unable to mark. Barker stripped of it. Umpire says threw it away. Free kick will go the way of Darley. Good tackle being rewarded. Handball off back towards Coley. He goes inside 50. Big fly by Edwards! Wow!
Was that... That would be the equivalent, if not better, than JJ's.
Oh, bit of hang time. Shaggy boy.
Because he took that basically standing on Pat Britt's head.
What a mark, Jake Edwards.
Now, if
When you need your side to lift, he said, I'll take lift off. Edwards will come in and deserves a goal for the mark.
He's done it.
Gets the goal for the mark. Mark of the day, Jake Edwards, and a goal. Gives Darley just the smallest glimmer of hope in the late stages. We ticking the time on the third term.
Has he taken the keys off Matty?
Oh, I don't know. Matty Johnson's got two serious nominations that are...
Well, exactly. But
JJ might have 3, and now JE. Jakey boy. Wowee. The veteran's got hops.
Well, I reckon Jakey's is taking the keys out of JJ's pockets.
And he now it's just a battle of it with the brother.
Yep.
36 points to margin. We're back underway. Stevenson sends it forward towards centre half forward. Big fist from behind by Coley. Bouncing ball. Hoy came through. Bust through a tackle. Left foot kicking towards the pocket. Looking for Bell, and he takes the mark, does he? Yes, he does. He's been superb inside 50. And we'll line up from about 40 metres or so. Right behind this kick in the commentary bus position. Bell to answer instantly. Starts it right, never came back from there. In the end, Leonard takes the mark. Just seems like they haven't learnt yet, Baz. Anyone lining up from this broadcast side to need to start it way to the left and let the breeze do the rest. Off to Scotland. Inside defence, we'll go short to Stevenson. Now, he loves to run. He likes to take him on. One bounce from halfback. Can think about a second. Decides to drill the kick down the line, but coughs it up. Coon.
He was off.
Goes inboard, finds Stevenson. He's got a loose man on the outer side in Matthews. Takes the grab. Players everywhere. George marks it half forward. Copped a little bit of attention from Leonard in the marking contest. Now, we saw Lockie George bang a couple from 60 at the other end of the ground, Baz.
He's done a leg.
Hope it's just cramp. But as soon as he landed, it just seized up.
Because he can't stand up. Oh, no, might have been cramp. Yep.
But Barry Ag, what I was saying, he banged 2 from 60 with the slight breeze in his back. This is against the breeze. Can he will himself after some cramp to get it 55? Gets close to the man of the mark. Sends the kick on its way. It's right to the goal line. Oh, not again. Bell's taking the mark.
Can't be a mark. It came off 4 hands.
That's what Stevenson's saying. He can't believe it.
What?
Barry Ag can't believe it. Once again, Bell's marked on the goal line, says the umpire. Has put him on a tightish angle.
Well, not a tightish angle. He's not on any angle at all.
Plays on, snaps the goal. Bell kicks his third, and I reckon, ladies and gentlemen, you pretty much shut the gate, and that's all she wrote here.
Yep. Hey, have a look at Stevenson. And you were the third in line to touch it, Steve-O.
11 goals, 1682 leads. 5 goals, 1040. 42 points, 23 minutes gone here at Darley Park in the third term. And a score update at the Eastern Oval sees East Point up by 1 point over Sebastopol, 55-54, and a tight affair down there.
Coming back. So Ding Dong's got 3 with a goal assist from the Fluros.
We're back underway here. 1 down by Stevenson. Baker coming away. Big tackle applied by Oren. And bit of gamesmanship with Baker on his back. Man has threw the ball at him. I don't know. I think that's a wise move, Luther. Stevenson took out the ruck. Was stripped of it. Waterbury by hand. Shoveled out there towards Baker. Little hand pass stolen there by Kuhn. Now Inglis. Pounded forward by fist by Scotland, but only as far as Gianpaolo gets it down the line. Page, look away, hand pass, didn't quite find the man he intended to, and we'll get a stoppage on the outside. 24 minutes gone. Third term, BFL Game of the Round, 979 FM. Redan leading here at Darley Park. Scoreboard reads 5-9, which is what I have here in the commentary bus position as well. Just a little correction from the last scores I read out. Free kicks going the way of Baker on the other side. Down the line, Big fist over the top there by Smith. Sees it out of play. So scores here 5-9-39 to 11 goals 16-82.
Not writing Devils off, but you sort of know it's your day when you get hurried kicks out in the middle of the pack, hitting people on the chest all by themselves in the middle of nowhere.
Back underway here. Waterbury looks out wide for Thompson. He couldn't quite gather. Ball still live. Big tackle applied by the Lions, and in the end, on virtually the furthest point from our broadcast position, we'll have a stoppage. 25 minutes gone, BFL game of the round.
Was that Ziggy involved with the contest with
It was.
Thompson?
Jacobs is threatened. Back underway. One down by the Devils. Coming through there, who's been so impressive, Brian. High footy towards half forward. Bounce at the back, picked up there by Page. To Graham, back to Page. Has to go across goal. Kick's going to have to be good, and he was good.
Yep.
Lace out. Found Leonard. High ball from half back towards
Big
half
run by
forward.
Jake. Oh,
Edwards
there's
running
a
at full
push down.
velocity. Cleaned up by Cleary.
Well, what's the same bloody thing that happened to Britt?
And umpire waves play on. Barker. Handball off to Bond. Edwards hasn't got up. Doesn't look well on half forward. Kick out wide. Finds Stevenson. I'll stick with the play. Barry Ag will stick with that. Mark taken there by Bell. Grant Bell in between centre wing and half forward. Has the footy.
He hasn't moved, Jake.
And short kick will find McLean. He's holding his midriff, so I don't think that's a heads to priority. As McLean goes inside 50. Cut off mark taken by Graham. Snap around the body, clear defence. Should be marked by Cullen and is. Oh, pulled the kick, but found Nick Graham. Back to Coley. Spiteri wasn't looking at it. Had to go back and attack it. Took the mark. Continued to go in one motion. High footy. Edwards. He's
Being
back.
held.
Maybe held. Doesn't get a free kick. Ball goes through for a minor score. Darley moved to 5-10-40 to 11 goals, 16-82. Oh, dangerous kick down the middle is a very poor one. Opens the door for Ankrum. Right foot snap is offline. Minor score. Darley can't make the most opportunities in front of goal. Barry
I was
Ag.
just going to say, if you're listening, Leroux, better play the foul language disclaimer.
Just breathe, Barry. Just breathe.
This is bloody ridiculous.
Barry Ag just blown up in the commentary bus this afternoon. Not happy. Had the grumps on this morning, and it's continued into the broadcast.
No, I was good this morning.
Until you saw us here.
No.
High footy on the broadcast side. Darley couldn't trying to get one late shot on goal, but can't do so. And that is it here for three-quarter time here at Darley Park. Scoreboard has it. Devils 5 goals 11-41, trailing Redan 11 goals 16-82. For the Lions, 3 goals to Grant Bell and 2 to Atchison and Chester, with singles to Cleary, McLean, Stevenson and Craig Peters. And the Devils 1 apiece to Colley, Hanson, Ankrum, Spiteri and Jake Edwards. We'll take a break here on BFL Game Around for the final time on 979 FM. Ian Smithy Smith will bring you a huddle update from Jarrett G and Polo from the Redan. Redan huddle, on the other side of the ground, and we're back with the thoughts of Barry Ag on the other side of this break. You listen to BFL Game Around on 979 FM, live from Darley Park.
Fine at the moment.
Well, if I was here, Scott and I just sort of catch some on the pigeons here, I'll put 2 Grahams and Edwards in the goal square and just hope to God you can get down there enough to win the game. Let's see how this one unfolds in the final term here at Darley Park. Hacked at the midfield by Baker. Inside 50 go the Devils. Hanson held by Smith. Smith just clears with a fisting ball. Picked up by Inglis. Snaps it around the body towards the top of the goal face. Spoiled once again by Smith. Matthews. Handball a bit too tall for Kuhn. Baker slipped over. Shoveled it out the back towards Scotland. He goes out wide towards Inglis, ducked the head and got away, off towards Cadman, and he goes inside 50, big fist by Kuhn, brings the ball to ground, picked up by the Lions, high footy by Craig Peters, out towards the vacant centre wing on the other side, Jakob to the threat and gets the back up the footy, high wobbly ball inside 50, big fist there by Barker, Brian Graham goes without it, in there's Hoy, couldn't quite find a teammate, diving in there was Baker. And once again, Brian Graham wrapped up, umpire blindsided, and he says, I will throw things up. Opening minute of the final term.
Well, I think you both had the lamppost in front of him, mate. Down. Umpire wasn't blindsided here. He's back to the play.
Oh, I just couldn't see him, so that's why I said, because
yeah.
I was blindsided of him. Back underway. Spiteri didn't get boot to ball. Graham, right foot, snap, goal! Perfect start. BG, Brian Graham, first goal of the day. And they'll need plenty more of those in this final term if they're any chance of running over a rampant Lion Redan outfit this afternoon. 6 goals, 12, 48 trails, 11 goals, 16, 82. And that's what I'm talking about, Barry Ag. You just got to, at this stage of the game, it's just reality is you get both the Graham boys, Jake Edwards inside 50, back the rest of your players just to get it down there, get your class around where it's the most important, which is the goals, and just hope you can hit the scoreboard, you think? That's the way I sum things up. Stephenson wins it down. Scotland extracts, gives off to Stratton. His kick was smothered. Angwin's kick was off the outside of the boot. Still might work out for the Devils. Ankrum gives it off. Page, left foot kick. In front was Cadman. Paid the mark. Good signs early for Darley. Short kick across to St. Ford. Scotland, blindsided, didn't see him coming. No talk for the coach. Short ran him down. Redan with the reprieve to the outside, and the rappel is in the hands here of McLean, who's hit it well this afternoon. Takes a casual bounce in centre wing, trying to sell the foot candy on Angwin, and he gets away around the veteran. Goes inside 50 with a kick. Good mark taken there by Bell,
who was 40 metres in front of young Steve-O then.
He chips it over the top, and McLean, look at the follow-up by the young man.
Yep.
Had it on centre wing, sprinted down there, unchecked, and takes the mark inside 50. That's why he's on the VFL list at North Melbourne, Barry Ag.
And can I suggest that when I said, when it's not your day, how often do you see Heath Scotland get caught?
And still it's an R40, he hasn't.
In fact, I think in 3 seasons, that's probably the first time that I've seen him actually get nabbed.
Yeah, I'd agree, Barry Ag. McLean, this will be the dagger. This will be the sealer. Up against the boundary line, left foot kick.
Oh,
doesn't have the journey. Big fly, Cleary. Too big, too tall. Takes the mark on the goal line. Bet the 4th time this afternoon, the tall timber of Redan have clunked one in the goal square. And Cleary will just pop through his second, you'd imagine here, and pretty much seal the game at the Grey Street end.
Well, you got no drama with that, as you said. That was a very, very clean grab. And
well, that one was just pure, athleticism as well as height.
Yeah, well, exactly. But, not making excuses, but young Steve-O's got his football future in front of him. Most of the Redan players have probably forgotten more about it than he's learnt so far.
Well, I'll sum up what this result's going to do for the entire league in just a moment. It's going to make tomorrow's game on 9-9 very interesting, put it that way. Angwin towards half forward. Inglis gets away, handball off to Spiteri, flying shot towards the goal face, marked by Smith.
Just a horrible kick.
Well, with the game tomorrow between Sunbury and Melton, Barry Ag, the winner of that game, if the score stayed this way, will play the winner of Sebastopol and East, with the winner of that going to a grand final. So all of a sudden, a team like Melton, who finished 5th, could potentially be able to go straight through to the grand finals.
Yep.
Spiteri off to Coley into the pocket. Graham marks just in between him and the boundary line.
Graham of the Nick variety.
Take his best kick from here.
But once again, you've got to give him an option.
Well, it's safe to say every shot they get on goal, they have to make count. And even ones as difficult as this, with the degree of the difficulty is at 100%. Graham comes in, kick is on its way. It's not a bad effort from there, and it hits the post. Minor score, 6 goals, 13, 49. Trails 12 goals, 16, 88.
But look, I agree with what you just said, mate. But if somebody had given him an option towards the centre of the ground, but everybody stood flat-footed.
Zach Jenkins with the footy. Goes towards the outer side of the ground, looking for a flyer, and the mark. Short takes the grab, and Redan can just take the sting out of it ever so slightly. Long ball down the line, play the percentages. Cleary unable to mark. McLean stayed down, sells the foot candy and gets away once again. McLean look away, hand pass off to Cleary, back towards McLean. Handball wasn't clean to the VFL list of play. Kept it in the field of play. No, he ran out of real estate just at the end. But he's just having moments of X factor at the moment is Lockie McLean on that outer side.
I'm not going to mention any names, but there were 2 Darley players in that passage of play.
Yes, Barry.
Just gave up.
Yes. Maybe they've accepted their season is done in 2019 in the first week of finals. Thompson inside 50. Bell with Stevenson. Stevenson got a fingertip in there and then saw the ball out of play. Little point to the youngster. 12 goals, 16.88. Darley, 6 goals, 13.49.
And I think if it wasn't probably Bell just in front, but that close to a dead heat between those two, it's not funny.
Baker towards the other side with a high footy. Bounces on its point and goes out of bounds.
I don't know how you've read it.
Oh, well, one thing I'll read about this game, Barry Egg, is that the problem that I've pointed out for about 3 or 4 years now with the Devils about not having a recognised number one ruckman has come to the forefront because this big Orange Stevenson just keeps winning down like that. But Scotland this occasion cuts it off. Graham, foot candy, gets away. Handball inside to Coley. Goes out the back towards Carrick, left it behind. The hand pass was poor. Now Harvey goes over the top, missed his target. Page tried to spin out of the tackle, did well. Found no. Umpire said he threw it. I thought he disposed of it.
Yep.
Atchison towards half forward, good looking kick. McLean's good enough to gather this. Try to handball to his own advantage.
And that's a free kick.
And in the end, numbers prevail. Scotland to Cullen. Down the line. Giampolo. Coach takes nice little mark. Intercepts. Goes laterally to short. Takes the grab for the Redan Football Club.
First break we get in play, I'll ask you.
Centre forward. His kick was poor. Mark taken there by Shane Page. Hasn't stopped trying. Pulls the kick inboard. Clever pass. Opportunity for Lee Spiteri. Runs his full measure. Lowers the eyes. Graham collected. Umpire put whistle to mouth. Said no. Play on. Getting back there for Redan is short. Picked up by Nick Graham. Put the arm out. Well, put the arm out for a stiff arm. Barry Agg then got caught. I would have thought it was in trouble. Umpire says no. Barry Agg.
Question. If you're in possession of the ball and you're tackled and you just drop it, that's a free kick, is it?
Correct.
Not?
Incorrect disposal. Back on the way.
How many times have we seen that?
Smith wins it down. That's Thompson with the hand pass just towards the boundary line. Looking there for Giampolo to get there. Graham steps around a whoopie tackler. Handballs underground. Brian to Nick. Try to get through George. Out the back to Inglis. Flying shot on goal. He's going to fall into the left forward pocket. Hansen. Big fist from Britt from behind. Spiteri towards Inglis. Smothered by Pat Britt. And big props to Pat Britt today, Barrag, I reckon. He's the only real key defender for the Redan Football Club. And I know Edwards had a lot of traffic his way, but Britt just sort of set him up behind the play really nicely all after and been impressed by him.
Yep.
Back underway. Hand pass out wide by the lines to George, to Kuhn. Coughed it up immediately. Here's Inglis out the back towards Page. Spearing ball finds a target. Mark taken by Brian Graham. Don't think he has the wheels from outside 50. Looking for an option. Brian to Nick on the lead takes the mark.
And that should have been what happened when Nick was going back to line up previously.
And the Graham boys today have been well held, Barry. A lot of attention by Thompson as well as Matthews have gone into the Graham brothers respectively. And I reckon they've won the points, especially in terms of nullifying their influence. But Brian kicked the goal to kick things off here. Can Nick would have to start the miracle if he can nail this. From 40 metres out, Graham comes in. Kick is on its way. And he's missed. Darley, don't think he can get it done from here. 6 goals, 14.50. Trailed Redan, 12 goals, 16.88. Barker will bring the ball back in the field of play for the Redan Football Club. He's waved the play on now. Likes to go long and down the middle usually. Decides to pull the kick towards the broadcast side. Stevenson did well.
Young Steve-O.
Stratton went without it. An umpire said he was held without it. Free kick towards Ziggy, or Swanee as he's affectionately known here in the bus. Off to Scotland. Left foot kick on the lead. Edwards! Left side, right side, does not matter.
Oh, I tell you what.
And then some very sore midriff region there for Jake.
Yes, when he got crunched in that last quarter.
Which indicates to me that the bump must have been fair. But Jake Edwards, we've seen him have a couple of shots from here not make the distance against this breeze. Edwards comes in, kick is on its way, and wrong side of the post. Minor score. Just hasn't got his radar on today. Darley, 6 goals, 15.51. Redan, 12 goals, 16.88. And I can tell you in the other game, it is East Point out to a 13-point lead in that one. Barker towards the outer side, looking for Cleary. Stuck the one mid up, couldn't take the mark. McLean trying to get it across to add some support.
Well done, Trent Angwin. 1 against 6, roughly.
Darley, 6 goals, 15, 51 trials. Redan, 12 goals, 16, 88. 37-point margin. We're back underway. One down by Angwin. Scotland. George bombed the back. Free kick will go the way of the Lions. Angwin goes inside 50 with a high kick. Here's opportunity for Coley. Try to get away. Found Inglis. 48 from goal. Looking for Edwards. Thompson stole it. Hand pass was smothered there by Carrick. Slapped forward by the Lions. Harvey's got plenty of wheels. Takes one bounce of halfback. It's going to be confronted and says, I'm going to go around you, but fell over. Thought the bounce fell over. Still got the handball away though. Found the teammate Cooper Peters. Opens up, he goes to himself. Clever play. We'll run inside 50. Takes one bounce. A second bounce to get the goal of the day. And he does. Special moment there for Cooper Craig Peters. He handballed it to himself and kicked a wonderful goal.
Not only goal of the day, it's probably the best goal that I've seen this year.
It all started here in halfback. Yeah. Harvey took 2 bounces, then he fell over, then he hand passed inside. Cooper Peters got the hand pass over to himself, ran from centre wing all the way to about 38 and kicked a wonderful goal. He's second today, shut the gate, sent Darley packing for season 2019.
So would you say that's probably the best goal that you've seen so far?
Goal of the year contender, no doubt about it, here in the finals campaign. We've seen a mark of the year contender as well. So very impactful day here at Darley Park and a very successful one for the Lions. One down there by Cleary. Umpire says holding the ball. Free kick will go the way of the Devils and the way of Graham.
Brian. No, just no options.
And he goes wide to half forward towards Cadman. Takes the mark. Too far at the score, though. Edwards would be the logical target. That's where he goes. Britt takes front position. Edwards forced to spoil. Britt gets rid of Scotland. Brought the ground to tackle. And umpire says, give it to me. I'll throw things up. 14 minutes gone. Final term. BFL game of the round. Redan are going to progress through in the finals campaign here. The Devils are going to bow out after finishing third on ladder. And all teams finishing third on the ladder are going to bow out in all competitions. Spiteri, flying shot on goal. It's all about the bounce. Graham, running out of real estate, was taken over the line for a minus score. Darley. Well, scoreboard doesn't read flattering. 16 goals, 16.52 to 13 goals, 16.94. Waterbury, high footy to the outside. And the mark's taken there by Cleary. Copped a little bit of attention from one Brian Graham in the marking contest. Cleary pulls the kick inboard. Bond can't quite get there at his feet. Clever knock back there by Brad Inglis. Inboard go to Devils. Opportunity if it sits up for Cadman to go forward, which it does. So Cadman, left foot kick towards the hot spot. Graham crashed the pack, couldn't take the mark. Scotland gets away from one, sizes them up, kick is on the goal face, and it's offline. Minus score for the Devils. 6 goals, 17.53 to 13 goals, 16.94.
Now, if that had been Redan, they knew it was offline, but it would have fallen into somebody's chest.
Waterbury. It just sums up it's not been their day. Long kick down the middle, mark taken by Lockie George. He's just directing traffic. Been terrific once again as Lockie George. Stevenson on the lead, unable to mark. The big over by hand, was looking there for Bell. He flipped it out wide, hoping it for the sit-up for McLean. It does not do so. Run out of real estate. We'll get a ball in. 41 points the margin here at Darley Park.
Now, I can't see him over that side of the ground. Has Dino come back on the ground?
He had a little try of it, but then he's spent the rest of the game on the bench. So I would say that hamstring has been too much for the veteran to handle. As his injury interrupted season continues, and on what's going to be an elimination final or semi-final next week against most likely, from the looks of things, Sebastopol, he'll be an important player that I want to get up for that one.
What did he miss last week with?
I'm not entirely sure. To be honest, I'd have to research into that one. Kick inside 50 by
nice mark, yes.
Redan. They take the mark. But he's had hamstrings, he's had foot, he's had calves, he's had everything. Yeah.
Well, which, as I can attest to, the older you get, the easier you find them.
Short will line up for goal from just inside the paint, left footer.
But I was going to suggest too that is it any wonder that he's done a hammy, because he's probably ran more in the first half of the game football than he has all season.
Good strike wide short.
That's there.
Right to the goal line. Oh, not again. Another mark on the goal line. The way the Lions. And it's Darren Stephenson, my apologies, getting up.
The big fella, yeah, just with the white boots makes it a bit difficult at times, doesn't it?
Just, but honestly, that's 4 times, Barry Egg, maybe 5, that the Lions have marked on the goal line.
It's 4 times out of 5 they've done it legitimately.
It's just ridiculous.
And the 5th one was an absolute howler.
Opportunity for Stevenson. Directly in front.
Well, he's shown that he can kick them.
Don't think he can miss this with the eyes closed. Comes in, bangs it down to Grey Street. Redan cracked the ton, and Stevenson kicks his second.
And as you said, even though there are nets behind the goals, that's finishing Grey Street.
14 goals, 16, 100. Darley, 6 goals, 17, 53. Just going to see if we can keep updating the qualifying final, because that's game still relatively close, as it's now a 14-point margin the way of the Kangaroos at the Eastern Oval. Of course, Sebastopol down to only 2 rotations to finish that one at the Eastern Oval, which would set up Sebastopol against Redan next week in the first semi-final, to be most likely played, I guess, on the Saturday. Yeah, it's interesting how they adjudicate that one.
Well, not going to make any difference, because we will be at both games next weekend.
Correct. George towards half forward. Well, actually, I will know it will be on the Sunday, and I'll explain why. Kick towards half forward, opportunity here versus Stratton. Gets the kick away inboard. Baker should mark and does so. From half back towards centre wing.
To Graham.
Graham marks. He gives off in one motion. The Page. He was looking for Angwin. He couldn't quite get there. We're going to run out of real estate, I think. Keeps it on alive remarkably, but coughed it up immediately.
Nobody to handball it to.
Craig Page get the goal today. High ball. Stevenson drops the mark. Zips away from a man. Kicks is smothered. Still a chance for Darley to clear. Cullen, they're just hunting them. The Lions. They're just still hungry for it. Stevens off to Graham. Left foot kicks okay. Measured. Redan play down off the back of the pack. England's wrapped up. And what I was saying, I was going to explain that the game will be on the Sunday next week, because the finals will be held at City Oval and C.E. Brown respectively. And I would highly doubt they'd give Redan the home final at the City Oval, but we've seen funnier things happen in football. Back underway. Spiteri zips away, takes one bounce through the middle, gives it off to Harley Inglis from centre half forward, lures in the pocket towards Nick Graham, who takes the mark. Gives it off, looking for Brian. Yes. It's still Brian Graham, Barry Egg. Like, he's probably only had the 20 today, and he might kick his second goal here. It's been one of his quieter outputs, but still, as we take time on the final term, he's had an impact on the game, even though he's been, I think, comprehensively well tagged by Dean Matthews all afternoon.
Well, look,
just shows the calibre of the man, is what I'm getting at.
He has, and probably neither Brian or Nick have had the influence on the game that were expected.
As Graham's wobbly kick is straight enough. His second of the last term and of the day.
But you can't deny the endeavour that both of them put in.
Yeah.
And when they get that half a yard break, it's amazing just how bloody good they are, as are a lot of other footballers. But as you said, full credit to Jared Giampolo and the coaching panel at Redan. They've really done the homework. And
they were written off by a lot of people last week, despite having so many gun players out. But they thought, honestly, the performance against Melton was utter embarrassing. They've shown how they can so easy and how quick footy can turn around in 7 days. There's no doubt about that. 41 points to margin, centre of Darley Park. No one here in the commentary bus selected Redan this afternoon. We thought Darley would make it 17 in a row here at Darley Park, and they're not going to do so. George, high footy, goes inside 50, should be cut off. Page takes the mark. Wants to go quick, comes towards the broadcast side, and Carrick will mark. And just how good is Shane Page for stuff like that, Baz?
Well, it is, but...
To Carrick, was looking for Cadman at his feet, couldn't mark, and now picked up by George. Flips it over the top, to short, to Harvey, full of run, spearing ball inside 50, marked by Bell.
But there is an excellent example of what's been wrong with Darley. 24, bloody hell.
Jackson Carrick.
Carrick got the mark, had Cadman out here, all by himself.
Bell kissed his fourth Barry Egg, but continue.
Went back, hesitated, looked, oh, yes, no. And by the time he kicked it to Cadman, he had 4 players on him.
Well, reality,
it should have been straight away.
Well, the reality is you can just see the passage play sums it up. Like, Devils take a risk in a guy like Page off halfback, kick on the left side, hits a guy lace out. He goes wide and slowly, Redan get the turnover, zigzag, bing, bang, boom, straight down the middle, goal.
Yep.
And the use of the footy has been superb. And that's why deserving victors this afternoon here at Darley Park. 15 goals, 16, 106 lead, 7 goals, 17-59. Back underway. Stolen by George. High footy inside 50, cut off by Stevenson of the Darley variety. He goes wide, and his kick's cut off there by Matthews. Flips it over the top to McLean. Runs to 65, inside 50, dropping the mark there was Thompson. Still got time to go back to McLean. High footy. Flying shot goal. Oh, my word! Just floated all the way in. A goal contender of his own for the day.
What was that, from the Pigeon Club?
Wow, McLean kicks his second. Redan's fifth of the final term, 16-16, 112. Leads 7 goals, 17-59.
And the other thing, too, without being overly critical, do you think Darley went in here, when I say undermanned, undersized?
Oh, absolutely, undersized. I mean, it just shows that their troubles to hold a good spinal, tall group, and the only real natural tools they have are Edwards and Trent Angwin, that are regular week starters, has come out to cost them in a final.
Yep.
Hoy, out of the midfield, sends it forward. The Lions are not done with this yet. Give it off to a teammate McLean for 2 in a minute. Oh, he's had what a final term. You've had Lockie McLean. He's third of the day and putting on a show and a clinic here at Darley Park. 17 goals, 16, 118. Devils, 7 goals, 17-59. Barry Ag, mercy rule. Can we go home now? I've seen enough. Redan are good. Redan can win the flag. I said they could pre-game, and they've proved me right this afternoon.
Now,
Don't tip them at your own peril.
Well, I did that last week, didn't I?
Yeah.
And got my pants taken down, but...
Yep. And I have today. Back on the way. Hoy. Kick was smothered. Zastratton from half-back. Wobbly kick will go in Graham's direction. He'll mark. Brian Graham, centre wing. Looking for Hanson, maybe at half forward. Giampolo backing back, almost marked. Picked up by the Devils. Inglis on hands and knees. Off to Hanson. Off now to Carrick. Snaps it around the body to the hot spot. Edwards best positioned. Takes the mark. 25 out directly in front. Should go back and kick second.
And I am not saying this being disrespectful to Pat Britt, but that's obviously the way you got to play him, Jake. Play him from behind, and then he can't push you in the back.
Well, it's an interesting piece of footage, maybe to show, whoever has to line up on Pat next week in the semi-final. Gold Edwards is second, but how do you play against a veteran? I mean, you play in front, and he uses all the tricks of the trade to make sure you don't take the mark. And
well, the reality of it is that he was blessed with, I think, some non-umpiring decisions in the first half. I don't know how you saw it.
Yep.
But hey, if they're not paying him, you keep doing it. And he did.
Got a score update from in the qualifying final if we can. And it is now 12 goals, 11, 83. East Point leading Sabas 11 goals, 874. So the Borough just kicked one there to give themselves a chance in the final moments of that one. But
they're about 5 minutes behind us, aren't they?
yeah, so we will stick. We have enough time this afternoon that we'll be able to get the final scores brought to you, and I'll get them confirmed before we go off air, which means we can start to see how things finish up in the Ballarat Football Netball League. I mean, Darley will bow out today. I wasn't going to be completely shocked if the Lions got up this afternoon, but in this fashion has really thrown a cat amongst the pigeons.
Well, as you said, to a certain extent, it's irrelevant whether the Cookers win or lose today, because with those big name players out, I don't think they've got any ready-made replacements, have they?
Well, the reality is, can they get James Keeble back? Can they get Luke Keel off a concussion back next week? It's going to be a very, very time-testing time for the Sabas Footy Club over the next couple of weeks, or a week even, depending on how it all works out. Back underway with this one. Darley looked to go forward through Inglis. Inside 50, overcooked the kick. Barker.
Yep.
Just superb, as always, in defence. Nick Barker. Down the middle.
Oh, yeah, can he be by himself?
Cleary gives it off to Coon. Through the middle of Darley Park to a leading man. Mark is taken inside 50 for the Lions.
It was a matter of...
By Blake Thompson.
Who do we want to take it? Tomo for his third for the quarter, or will the big fella go for his third for the quarter?
It's just been that this afternoon, and you look at this final term, Darley, they need to kick straight, need to take most opportunities to win this. 3 goals, 5. Redan, 6 straight. Lining up for their 7th of the quarter. Just to shut the gate completely.
There we go.
And Thompson kicks the goal.
So, has he got any apart from this quarter? Or?
No, that's his first for the afternoon, but 2, 4, 6, 8. Got different goal kickers for the afternoon. Is a pretty good showing in 18 goals.
So, have you had any further report on Lockyer?
Back out playing. Got through, able to carry it, but,
Okay, so he's probably a chance next week.
As, again, trying to get some scores, because Sebastopol just kicked everyone behind, so a missed opportunity there maybe for them. Again, keep you updated with the scores in that one.
They're trying for the old 7-point trick, mate.
Oh, go on the episode. 18 goals, 16, 124 leads. 8 goals, 17, 65. Absolute shellacking in the end here at Darley Park. Angwin down to Baker.
What?
Handball to himself, said the umpire.
That's ball, umpire, every
Tackle
day.
on Harvey. Umpire says holding the ball. Free kick will go the way of the Devils. 29 minutes gone, final term. The longest quarter we've had due to...
2.5 weeks afterwards.
Devils will go forward. Bit of consolation to finish things up maybe. Looking for Edwards on the lead with the one hand. Jackie Boy takes the mark. Too far at the score. Into the pocket. Looking for Graham. Too strong. Marks. Nick Graham with it. Of course, was on the AFL list at Carlton last year. We'll go short to Brian.
Guess where?
Yeah, a bit of brotherly love. We've only called that a million times throughout the season. And we haven't done a hell of a lot of Darley games, but every time we see the two boys play together, it's just,
I would just like to see a really senior game of football with the three of them in the side.
Graham kicks. Won't make the distance. Offline nevertheless, and Smith punches it through for a score. 8 goals, 1866.
Because we saw how good Brian and Chris were together. We've seen...
How good Brian and Nick are together.
Well, I don't think we've seen the best of Brian and Nick together.
I've seen glimpses, I'll give you that.
Glimpses, but not... But the teamwork the chemistry they have between each other is just unbelievable.
Smith goes short to Matthews. And Dean Matthews can go even shorter afield as the siren sounds here to end some Devils misery here at Darley Park. Scoreboard has it 8 goals, 1765 to Redan's 18 goals, 16, 124. We will get that confirmed before we finish up here. Whilst the goal kickers for the Lions, Ford and Grant Bell led the way. McLean kicked 3 goals in the final term. for his afternoon. Cleary, Chester, Stevenson, Craig Peters, and Atchison all kicked doubles as well, and Thompson got one late. Whilst for the Devils, 2 to Jake Edwards, 2 to Brian Graham, but both men had missed opportunities all afternoon. Spiteri, Ankrum, and Hansen and Coley all got the singles for them. Barry Ag, the Devils are bowed out in season 2019 in dramatic fashion. A game that they just simply weren't up to the standard of.
Well, there's another thing. We talked about the height of Darley before. Spiteri.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I saw him on the ground after quarter time.
Yep. No, he was out there. He was out there.
Did you see him, the big one?
And I think the umpire's going to go over to add another point onto the Devils, is what I suspect. East Point, 12 goals, 11, 83. Sebas, 11 goals, 10, 76 is what I have here at the moment. And as I said, I'll get you final scores before we finish up here at Darley Park.
But there's one player out there I really, really, really feel for.
And who was that, Barry?
The bloke that's just been shook.
Dean Chester's hand?
hand, yeah.
The coach here, Scotland?
He tried his heart out all day. And I know
8 goals, 18, 66 is the final Darley score.
He wears his heart on his sleeve, but